So a massive IPTV operation has now been shut down by MPA and also ACE. Now it really does seem like every day we hear news of another provider, another illegal provider who's now been shut down by the authorities. But the reason why this one is a little bit special is the actual company was very, very well known and extremely reliable in this space. Now, this particular article appeared today on Torrent Freak, and we can see that SmoothStreams has now been shut down, and this was done by a secret legal process. Now, as we can see here, it really was one of the most reliable, well-known providers in this space, and it suddenly went offline this month. And that's normally the first sign where you know something is up. Your favorite streaming application, your favorite third-party application or IPTV provider, if you start noticing where channels are not working anymore, or maybe there's no search results, or you're just not getting access to that content, in many cases that's a sign that the authorities are on the case and they're in the process of shutting that service down. Now, of course, there could also be technical problems, server issues, but generally and by and large, the authorities are just in the process of shutting that down. Now, the companies involved here were MPA Canada, our favorite ACE, and also Bell and Rogers. And this apparent operation was being tracked for a number of years. And you can imagine for very large scale operations where they have tens and thousands of users, where hundreds and thousands of dollars or even more are being exchanged by the suppliers, by the customers. Something of that scale, that kind of operation, to shut it down and to shut it down properly will require months and months or even years of proper investigation to make sure that they have all of the required information, whether that's which services they were providing, which countries they're operating from, server locations, IP address, customer details. They get all of that information and then use that to shut the operation down. Now, we can see that these services, as we know, they do disappear on a regular basis. And there we can just confirm that they're saying that SSTV was definitely shut down by the affiliates of MPA Canada, which is a Motion Picture Association Canada, and ACE. They're the ones that were responsible for shutting down this service. And we can see that this was a massive coalition of companies, and because it's Canada, it involved Bell Media, Rogers Media, and even other companies like Disney, Paramount, Columbia, Warner Brothers, and two divisions of Universal. All of them were involved in this case. And when it came down to actually filing a statement, it was against two individuals. And it was actually a father and son operation. So a bit sad that, they had a family business, tried to offer cheap entertainment so more people can access it. But because they didn't own that content, they didn't have a license to distribute that content. This is why the authorities came down hard and wanted to shut down their operation. And we can see that they allege that these two are the owners of SmoothStreams.tv and some other websites like these ones here. And these offer subscribers access to large volumes of TV channels, movies, basically like your standard IP TV subscription, what people pay for. You get a bunch of channels, you get some VOD content, but in most cases, they're not authorized to distribute their content, which is why they are classified as illegal. And it's very interesting they tried to use this Anton Piller order, which is a special type of court authorization, which allows them to search premises belonging to the father and son without giving any prior warning. And it's exactly the type of order that was given or used against Adam Lackman, who was the former operator of TV add-ons. Now, I'm sure many people, or in fact, do leave me a comment below if you guys remember TV add-ons. I mean, there was a time where that was really the de facto or the go-to repo to add into your K application. And through this add-on or through this repo, you could then install all of those particular add-ons. So very, very popular in its prime time. But of course, that was again shut down by the authorities. And we can see they were served with their notice July 14th this month. And two locations were targeted, which was their house and also commercial property. And we can see they were told that any failure to comply with the terms of the order could lead them to be held in contempt of court, an offence which carries a fine or a prison sentence. And this is one of the things where it gets very, very serious. They issue very large fines, but also the real risk of going to prison. So when they use those kind of tactics, you can see just how serious they are. They'll do everything in their power to put off as many people as possible going down this route of providing illegal access to their content. And we can see during their search, they found a number of TV receivers, encoders, and number of servers which were used for capturing and redistributing those infringing streams or that content. And this just shows you how big the operation was, that they had multiple different affiliated websites, which I'm not going to name here, but using these affiliated websites, you could go onto those websites and use those to buy a subscription to that particular provider. And each of them were actually registered as a completely separate corporate entity, some based in Canada, some based in Hong Kong, another one based in Panama. So you can see that it was a large operation, lots of different companies in different parts of the world, all trying to run this operation. And this is always the key question, that how did this operation get shut down, or how did they identify who owns the operation, who owns the servers, where are the servers, what are the IP addresses, all of that data. How did they actually get that? Well, the fact that this took 4 years to compile that information, and I have covered this before in another video, where some of the tools available online where they can look up usernames, they can look up server geolocations. But as I always say, when money is involved, unless the operation only supports cryptocurrency, in most cases you can pay with PayPal or another provider. And once those other payment gateways are involved in your operation, there's always some kind of money trail. And following that trail, you can then quickly establish where the money is going to, who's registered there, what company it is, who owns the company. And with that information, and you can then build a case, get all of that information, and then take it to the authorities or take it to court, get an order, and then plan to shut this operation down. So it just shows you guys, this kind of stuff, it's not going to stop. These authorities, they're going to spend more money, they're going to use more scare tactics like prison sentences, millions of dollars of fines, all these things just to deter people so they don't think about starting one of these operations. But as we always say, because the demand is just so great, or we could even say because the cost of cable TV, movies, all that kind of stuff, all these subscriptions, because the cost of that is too high, people can't afford it. That's why they look for these cheaper alternatives. And because the demand is there, there's lots of money to be made, which is why I personally think it's going to be very, very difficult to stop all of these different IPTV providers. So if you don't have a VPN, or you're not happy with your current VPN, IPVanish are doing a crazy promotion just for the next 2 weeks, whereby you can get total protection for all of your devices, your phones, your tablets, your Fire Sticks, your Android TVs, all devices covered at maximum speed, unlimited bandwidth, with confirmed zero data logging at just over $3 a month. So really at that price point, to get all of that protection, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. And that's pretty much for this video, guys. I wasn't planning on making a video today, but I know lots of you are paying for different IPTV services, and in case you are affected by this, I thought I'd share this article. So really appreciate your support. Do like and share this video, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.